So I saw the movie last night at Sundance, and it's a return for you after me, you, and everyone you know. But it's a return after many years. And so, like a lot of people, I'm curious what you've been doing with your time in the meantime. And this is obviously a predicament, or maybe not a predicament, but it's hard. It's hard to get a second movie made for many,
Right.
many filmmakers. And
Yeah.
you've been doing lots of things. I've read you in the New Yorker, you
Right.
know, with great enjoyment.
Yeah.
So you've been busy, but I just wondered
Yeah.
what the whole question of having a second film was like for you.
Right. Well, because I don't identify myself only as a filmmaker, I was very clear after the first movie that I wasn't interested in, whatever offers or striking while the iron's hot or whatever you're supposed to do.
You had a lot of that, I'm sure.
Well, it's everyone's job, right, to focus on that year's crop of new faces, and so I very determinedly I said no. I want to finish my book of short stories. If anything, I want to use the momentum to get an agent and a publisher, which I did, and then that had its own world tour. So it's not like I haven't given interviews about a new project where I end up talking about the movie, where I end up talking about me and you, because that already happened, which was kind of great. I mean, which is to say the movie opened doors and then the book built on that, and then I did a performance which evolved into this movie, and I think in a way because...
How long was it? Was it a one shot, or did you
it was
perform
something I
for a
worked
period
on.
of time? Where was it exactly?
It premiered at the Kitchen in New York, and my plan was to tour it as one does when they have a new performance, and I suddenly was like, I want to make a movie. Like, I'm ready now, and I'm already in the door as far as the story goes, because this is it. This performance could be so much more interesting in a way in this more mainstream form, not in the avant-garde theater, but in the movie theater. So that was sort of my way of tricking myself into a second movie without having to second guess, is this the movie?
So it was organic, which is the best possible thing. But what I love about this movie is that and apparently it came from the performance piece, that you could put this outrageous, poetic, not your standard everyday narrative, comprehensive stuff in there.
Right.
And make it, that's my favorite stuff in the movie. I just
good,
love
me
it.
too, yeah.
This guy talking to the moon and stopping the tides.
Yeah.
And tell me a little bit about what came from the piece and how you worked around it in the writing phase.
Right, so all that stuff in kind of simpler forms, all the weird stuff, was in the performance. So the cat paws, the dance in the shirt, even the shirt in a weird way on strings being alive, very clunky. And stopping time was part of it. And I think in the performance I played both roles, and a real couple from the audience played the couple. Just don't think too hard about that. So I remember when I performed that scene of stopping time, it was more of a negotiation with the sun and the moon about stopping time, which sort of shows you how there were things that were the same, but they ended up differently. I think in the visual medium, the thing of actually stopping someone with your hand, performance is visual, but not in the same way.
No, you could take the whole universe and have cars in the street with their stoplight, their lights on. It was really cool, that whole sequence.
Yeah.
And having him look up, he's actually talking to the moon,
right.
Apparently.
Yeah. Who else is left? Yeah.
So you, there's one sequence in the movie where you do talk to yourself. It's while you're having a debate with yourself about whether you're going to actually perform this dance in front of your computer camera. That you're blocked.
Yeah,
the whole movie.
paralyzed.
You can't do it. and you don't do it. But until you go off and have an affair, apparently, this fascinates me that they're stuck.
Right.
That they're in, but you're also playing opposite yourself.
Right.
He's you, isn't he? Hamish Linklater's character.
He's my better sides. Yeah.
And you allow yourself to play the woman who's a little bit wild and nasty.
Right. Yeah, and also just doesn't deal with paralysis, and I mean, that's for any writer, that stuck feeling is sort of the villain, right? And how to stay in motion and stay free and have faith. I put all that into Jason, and I was sort of my worst nightmare of what if it just gets worse and worse until you give up on yourself completely, your whole conception of yourself, and you break up with yourself, and you leave your life, and you kind of sabotage everything so that maybe you just don't have to be you anymore, which is kind of almost like a very dark fantasy.